Okay, I've finished wiring the Rostra cruise control and actually took it out for a test ride and it worked. I would highly suggest you test ride your bike before you put it all back together because mine didn't work. So I want to go over the wiring here the best that I can. All this can be found on Murph's kits, but I just want to go over it. So here's the control pad. That's pretty simple, right? You follow the wire down, and I haven't dressed any of this cabling up, so my cruise control unit didn't come with this connector. It just came with just the pins, and so I actually had another cruise control that I robbed this connector, but it's pretty simple, you know, red, and then this brown wire goes to the middle, or the second red, and then, you know, green, and then yellow. That's pretty standard. And then you have these two, this black cable and this gray cable. Gray cable's switch 12 volt hot, and the black is a ground cable. And what these two cables do is they power the light that is on the unit to backlight it. And so there's a brown cable in this bundle, and this brown cable goes... It goes to 12 volt switch hot, and that is the 10 amp. That is the 10 amp fused one, and here's the 4 amp. I have both of these, the 10 amp and the 4 amp, going to a going to this connector right here, and they're going to the it's a red cable, or excuse me, yeah, it's a red cable with a blue stripe, okay, and that is switched 12 volt power. Then this other cable is a blue cable, and it's, by the way, they're the very end wires right there. They're on this white connector, and they're the very end wires, so that should help you. And so the blue wire is the brake light, so whenever you press the brake, that triggers the relay. And so now we come to the relay, and there's all these pins, you know. It's like, well, which pin is exactly this or which exactly other? So to make it easier, I'm just going to tell you that the yellow wire and the black wire go together, and then they are going to the they're going to the hot. The red wire and the white wire here, they go to ground. So once again, the yellow wire and the black wire together, they go to the brake light actuator over here. So when the brake light, when you press the brake, the light comes on and it'll trigger the relay through these two. And then once again, red and white together, they go to ground. The blue wire off the relay goes to the purple or violet, however you want to call it, off the cruise control unit. So I hope that helps somebody out. Then of course, you know, we have the black going to the black, or the black's going to the ground. And then there's this connector here. I suppose if you wanted to cut, I cut mine off, but you know, this black wire will go to ground. You don't need that. Then there's the blue wire. You don't need the blue wire for this install, so I cut the blue wire off. Now you have this short green wire right here that comes off the unit. I didn't cut this off. This is the length that it is, and that goes to your neutral sensing switch, which is on this side of the bike, and that's on. I used some of the purple cable off the unit just to run it, and that goes to a. It goes to a red wire with a green stripe, and it should be pretty easy to find that wire. It's kind of in the middle of the loom there, or the connector. So, and it's kind of a really light green. Hope you're not colorblind like me, because it was tough for me to find it. So there's that connection. Now we have the speed sensor, and so that goes right off this connector here. There's 3 wires. One of them's pink. You'll want to tap into the pink wire, And of course I tape this up, and then I just, you know, ran this along with the cable and back up to the unit. So I hope this helps anybody that's trying to wire theirs up. And now I'm going to go ahead and dress these cables up and make this look all nice and pretty. Okay, so now we're at the troubleshooting stage. The cruise control works, but we're having some problems. So let me go over the troubleshooting steps that I've undergone through this install. Number one, everything worked, but the cruise control didn't engage. I went through the diagnostic mode by holding the on and resume button and pushing down and then turning the key on at the same time. And then you could, under here there's an LED where you set the pins, the LED comes on, and you can verify that it's in diagnostic mode. So anyway, what was happening is the cruise control was not activating, and what it ended up being was my tap here. You know, everything in the diagnostics checked out except for when I went to turn the rear wheel. It wasn't, the light wasn't blinking, and what it was a bad tap. So if your cruise control passes diagnostic but it still doesn't work, well, actually it won't pass diagnostics, but you know, that's the problem. Then the next problem I had was that the cruise control would work perfectly, except when I pulled the clutch lever in, it wouldn't disengage, it just free rev. And I looked at all the posts I could find, and everywhere it stated, you know, that for the 2010 to connect to the red wire with the green stripe, and here's that wire right here. That's not the case. What this does, this looks for a ground. So when you pull the clutch in, that goes to ground, and so that's what it's searching for. Well, in order to make that happen, we had to come down to this white connector, and it's you have this baby blue wire here. You have a blue wire with a yellow stripe, and then there's this brown wire where you see my tap on there. That's the wire that worked for me. Yours may be different. Yours may be the red wire with the green stripe, but for me, that did not work. When I plugged into that wire and I put a test light on it and I turned the blinkers on, the blinkers would flash in the red wire with the green stripe. So now, hopefully, I hope I can button this bike up, because it's just been one problem after the other that I've had to solve. But anyway, this last final test that we took with the fairings off was really good. The bike, you know, as soon as I pulled in the clutch, you know, it immediately died. High speed, low speed, and the brakes work. Everything works great and disengages the unit. Unit engages at 25 miles an hour, and so I'm pretty satisfied with it. Now we're going to button it up.